It's time to check out this week's mutation mission in StarCraft 2 and of course, complete it on the brutal difficulty. Apparently, the mission is called Hard Target. Amon has bolstered his Void Thrashers with monstrous endurance, diminishing the effect of your assault against them and allowing them to completely ignore attacks from one of your armies. Split your forces and maintain communication to bring down this tenacious menace. Alright, so the first thing we know is that indeed we're gonna be playing on the Void Thrashing mission, one of my personal favorites. Let's have a quick look at the 3 different mutators. First off, we've got Hardened Will. Enemy heroic units reduce all incoming damage to a maximum of 10 when any non-heroic enemy unit is near them. So basically, whenever a little dude is right next to a big dude, they will be taking less damage. Alright, that's good to know. Secondly, we got Polarity. This is a really tricky one. Each enemy unit is immune to either your units or your allies' units. That does mean that we have to attack simultaneously at any given moment, because basically half the army can only be killed by me, and the other half can only be killed by my ally. And last but not least, we got the barrier as well. Enemy units and structures gain a temporary shield upon the first time they take damage. So basically what that means is that first off, heroic units will not die nearly as quickly. All of the units we're gonna face do have a barrier on them as well that will allow them to take less damage initially. And last but not least, half of the forces can only be fought by my army, and the other half can be fought by my allies. So I think we're gonna benefit the most if we just simply construct the most powerful army possible in StarCraft 2, and I think that Swan is the man for the job. We're gonna focus on primarily Goliaths and science vessels, basically his bread and butter strategy. Now I've grouped up together with Chupa, who will be playing Kerrigan. As far as my mastery points go, I got the combat drop duration and life percent. Secondly, I've got the structure health as well. I'm not really gonna make use of the immortality protocol, so I figured that the structure health is gonna be a little bit more beneficial. And then of course, at the very bottom, the most important one by far, we got the laser drill build and upgrade time reduction by up to 52%, which is very, very important. I don't think the Vespian drone cost is that big of a deal. So to be fair, most definitely the last one right here, just so we can survive the early part of the game. Really, Swan is all about surviving the early part, and once you set up a very powerful army, you're basically unstoppable.
Well, glad to see you two could make it. Been fighting these Void Thrashers for a couple of days now. Lost a lot of good men. My base won't hold out much longer. I need you to take out those Void Thrashers before they destroy what's left of the fortress.
Alrighty, so here we go. Now, of course, it will take me a little bit of time to get really my army, you know, to really get my army going.
There's one of them now.
Oh.
A Thrasher's gonna pop out of that rift real soon.
Real soon. But it will take a little bit of time to get my army going, but once it gets rolling, I mean, I do really believe that Swan's army is the most powerful one in the game. I mean, once you max out on particular Goliaths and science vessels and maybe some siege tanks as well, it's pretty much an unstoppable force. So that's really what we're going for. Now, of course, Chupa is playing some Kerrigan here, who's much more powerful in the earlier stages of the game. So we should be able to, you know, really start building up that force. Now, it does mean, of course, that I will need to grab myself as much here as I possibly can when it comes to the economy here initially, just so we can really build up that eco. And you know, survive until a later stage in the game. Of course, we are mostly limited by gas, so I'm getting that rather early on here as well. Dropping those Vespian gas drones right on top of the refineries. There we go. And I'm not really gonna worry too much about production here just yet. I'm really just getting that here in the earlier stages of the game, so I can set up myself a Blaster Billy. I think a Blaster Billy is probably gonna be my best bet. It's a little expensive, but at the very least, you know, I'm not going to be able to rely here on my ally just defending all of the early game pressure. Because, well, hey, only half of the units will be killable by me. Next up, I'll go ahead and get myself the tech reactor right here on the factory. And very shortly, as soon as I can afford it, I will be switching into, you know, some additional economy as well by just simply getting myself the expansion up. I also do want to focus on some very quick early game upgrades. I do think that's going to be an important one. I think I should be capable of researching here on a single armory. It's actually been a little while since I last played this guy. He's so fun though. I actually did not really expect that. I've really enjoyed playing this guy initially when I first was leveling up all of the different commanders in the game. But he's actually an absolute blast. He's really, really enjoyable. We'll also focus on some upgrades here. Immediately going for the Ares, what's it called? The Ares class targeting system. Basically just increases the strength right there of my units. And as soon as I can afford it right now, we'll go ahead and get myself the command center as well. And actually, so the early game pressure here is not really coming in just yet. Alright. Not gonna complain about that. Should give us a little bit of additional time. I do have my combat drop ready to go.
Got some bad guys coming after our base.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get myself an armor here as well so we can start upgrading the laser drill some more. And I'll also make sure here to start building up my very first Goliath. They should be coming in there through the center.
There's the first Thrasher. Main objective is to kill it, and fast.
I will have to use my my Draken, or rather my combat drop for that right there. I don't know if I need to quite use my abilities just yet. Alright. Okay. Okay, guys, loot these things real quick. Let's go, let's go. Very nice. You guys go ahead and grab that. Expansion should be finishing up very shortly here as well, which is nice. As long as we can clean up the area right here in front of the objective point, Kerrigan should be capable of nuking down the objective. I'm assuming at least she's going to be capable of doing that. There we go. Getting myself some more of these things. I'm really just trying to build up that economy. That's kind of really the limiting factor. We're going to need some gas here. I'll go ahead and get the regenerative biosteel as well. And of course we'll get the upgrade here too. So far, really clean. So far, really clean. So I'm playing rather safe here. I could have even gotten more and more upgrades, but
several risks to deal with. Hope you're up for this.
I'll just kill whatever I can. Whoa, you guys are not actually destroying the rocks? Oh, man. Well, that's unfortunate. Little annoying, but not too big of a deal. I'll go ahead and drop the upgrades here as well on top of Chupa's gases as well. So he gets some additional gas, as well as myself from that too. Actually, really nice. He's already at a hive really early on into this match. Really prioritizing tech here over getting himself the additional, or you know, prioritizing tech over anything else. There we go. Transfer some of these guys. You go back to that one. I'm going to start really building up more and more units. Actually, you loot that real quick. I do want to make sure that I get myself the first upgrade here, as well as a starport. Gonna have to get myself some science vessels. They're extremely helpful, but also, you know, are just, you know, very great at detecting cloak units. That's what we're gonna spend the majority of our gas on. And I do want to make sure that I queue up a couple of the upgrades too.
Enemy forces incoming. Oh. Slay them to the last.
Not enough minerals.
We should go ahead and push after this part.
Not enough minerals.
I love the original StarCraft music. It's so good. Did get the upgrades here as well. I'll go ahead and get my Hellbat Hellion upgrades here too. Considering they're Zerg, the upgrade here should be extremely good too for the starport. Oh man, I think I'm gonna go ahead and actually drop it. I'm gonna push on. This is a little tricky. This is gonna be the most difficult part. If we survive this early, like, I guess second wave, we should be great. They're gonna be capable of dealing quite a bit of damage here to the fortress. But after this, I think we're gonna be capable of establishing a huge army. And this is where we really start building up more and more stuff ourselves. Maybe I should have focused on a little bit more eco here initially, though. It's hard to say. I can't attack any of these things. I sadly don't have any units I can attack. I can't attack him. Okay. Yeah, I think we may have needed the expansion a little bit faster. I think if we are to restart this...
The fortress is under some pretty heavy fire. We gotta take these Void Thrashers down pronto.
You can see the little shield on top of some of these, right? It just shows that we can't damage him. Yeah, I'm losing a little too much here. We needed the expansion faster. I was playing a little too defensive here early game. We're gonna take a bit too much damage. I'm actually not entirely sure whether or not Swan is that great of a choice right here. I mean, once he maxes out, it's nice, but
Man,
before that...
see the two of you. My base is getting slammed by these Void Thrashers, and it can't take much more. I'm too busy fighting fires in here to handle them myself. You gotta destroy those Thrashers before they destroy this fortress.
Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try and take the expansion much faster. Also, Chupa is gonna stick on some Hydras here for a little while instead.
Hell, speak of the devil. Looks like one of those Thrashers is about to come around.
If we had more units in the early game, like, really, like, the second wave is a tricky one. After that, after we manage to defend that, we've got so much time and so much production that we can easily start piling on the units. But before that, I just barely had anything. So, I'm starting to think here whether or not Swarm was a correct choice anyway, but I don't really think I needed the early game static defense there. I think I could have gotten way more economy here initially as well. So, we should be alright. We should be alright. I'll try and put down my my command center a little bit sooner as well. So, if we can get those, if we can get that one out a little bit quicker, and we can really start mining off of 2 bases, I'm going to be capable of getting a lot more units out by the second wave. At least that's the idea. I'll also slow down a little bit on the upgrades. Don't really need those just yet. I don't think we needed those just yet. And as soon as I can, I'll go ahead and start up my I'm gonna start up my expansion, and we'll focus on getting the first Goliath out too. So I'm getting it much faster this time around. Since I've got the Aras bots anyway for the first wave, I think it's gonna be the correct choice. I'll quickly use the Aras bots as well to clean up this drop as soon as they are, or these rocks rather, as soon as they are available. You know what? We'll focus on that. I'll use the Aras bots to do exactly that. They are available for a while anyway, right? So I can really get more and more eco out. I think it's gonna be the correct option. I'm not gonna get any Goliaths just yet. Maybe this is a mistake. We'll see. But anyway, I'm thinking here, if you go for someone that has units faster, like maybe Sagara or maybe anyone that's not Swan, really, we should be in a much better spot for this simply the early game. Just the late game will be much more tricky, I guess. So as long as we figure out something to use and survive the early game with, we should be alright. I think. Alright, going for the armory here. And building up more SCVs. Aras bots available in a couple of seconds. For some reason, the push is much faster this time around. Kerrigan isn't even out yet either. Huh, that's a shame. That's weird. Alright, much more aggressive this time around. Apparently, it's a whole bunch of zealots that are just chilling right next to my Draken laser drill. Because they have manners. Okay. I can't attack those things, I'm afraid. I hope we actually aren't playing a little too greedy here. There we go. Try and go for the upgrades here. I hope I actually am not playing a little too greedy here though. I need that base, I need those rocks down. But I may be playing a little too greedy here by getting these things out already. Because we're wasting quite a bit of valuable time. I want to really have any units. Go over. My economy is going to be solid, but I won't have too much. I don't know if I'm in time. Alright. Go. We got to kill the units that I need to kill. I think we actually got it. Yeah, we're fine. There we go. That was a little closer than it needed to be, but... Alright, nice. We'll go ahead and get ourselves that starport out. We'll go ahead and get... Actually, the regenerative biosteel here initially.
Just peachy. Got a wave of enemies gunning for us.
Already? That's a little sooner than we had previously. I guess the attacks may just be coming in a little bit sooner or something. Anyway, it's barely doing any damage to the fortress right now once we are attacking it, so that's good. Very nice. Yeah, Swan is very slow. It's just that once we get the upgrades done, he's gonna be incredible.
I think I hear some Void Thrashers knocking on our door. Let's get ready to answer.
Okay, so this time around we're going up against Protoss Air as well. So that should be pretty good for us. We'll go ahead and get the upgrades, of course. The multi-lock weapon system. Goliaths can attack both attack and air units simultaneously. That would have been super helpful already. Let's go ahead and drop the gases right there. Very nice.
Upgrade complete.
I'm gonna have to get those out real quick. Get the advanced optics here as well as soon as we can afford it. Because first off, I want to make sure that I get myself at least a single science vessel. So we should have a lot more units out this time, which is nice. Okay, very guys, very good. Gonna get that gas. And the other one too. All right, nice. I'll also make sure here to get the improved nano repair. Ideally, I do want to get the other upgrade as well, but for now, we'll be able to keep my units alive for a little while longer already as well because of the science vessel. Science vessels are really nice. They're basically like, for anyone unfamiliar, they're basically like medics for air. For mech rather. So, you know how you've got medics and medevacs and whatnot that will keep your units up and running whenever they are biological. They're basically the mech version of that. So there's very little to fault them on. Plus they got some good spells. Alright. Don't really need that one. There's a couple of cool strats that you can actually play on this commander.
Lock and load. It's
Alright.
time to clear out some thrashers. Haha.
There we go.
Calling down a special
Nice. Going for another science vessel. And you can see, this is already starting to pile up the pressure. We're getting a lot more units right now. I can't hit all of these things, sadly. Which does make it a little tricky. But I'll simply attack move and see whichever one I can attack, I guess. Without getting too far ahead of Kerrigan. Oh, does that work? Oh yeah, the stun still does work. Oh, that's super good. That's super good. I didn't realize the stun would still work.
Void Thrashers are starting to burn a hole through the fortress's ceiling. So, you know, that seems bad.
Okay. Sadly, I can't attack any of these guys. Can't attack the pylon either. I can't attack any of these things. Yeah, I gotta stay a little closer. Alright. We'll also get another armory. Get that upgrade. And this is where we are starting to take down the second wave of Thrashers as well. Very good. So if I did see correctly, yeah, he's at a hive right now. So shortly, I guess he's gonna switch into Ultras once more, which is good.
A Void Thrasher's death has been confirmed.
Nice. Nice. Very good.
Not enough minerals. Our allies are being attacked.
Ah, more rifts. Thrashers can't be far behind. Get ready to torch them, would you?
Looks like the enemy is heading for us. Let's go say hello.
Not enough.
Trying to get another one of those tech labs, or tech reactors rather. Yeah, we do need to move together though. That's the tricky part here. We do need to be together, because otherwise we can't do much.
Not enough minerals.
Otherwise we just simply can't attack. There we go. Ooh, one suicidal Hydra.
Concentrated beam ready.
And I'll actually have to try and get I can't attack this thing. I actually have to try and get the upgrade here shortly as well. For I can't really, it's not much use in that, right? I'm gonna have to try and get the upgrade right here as well for the Dragon Laser Drill is what I tried saying there. For like 6 seconds. And like far too many words.
Here come the Thrashers, commanders. Let's light them up.
Okay, trying to guide him back right now.
I'm calling in a special delivery.
Hey, the fortress is under attack.
The fortress is fine. We do take up a lot of space, by the way, which is a little bit of a downside of these units. That's so good, though. I didn't realize that immobilization or immobilization wave rudder would still make them so much better, and like would still like shut them down.
Probably a good idea to destroy it before they can use it.
What's going on?
Very nice. Only now at 1-1. Only just now really starting to research that.
It's under some pretty heavy fire. We gotta take these Void Thrashers down pronto.
A Void Thrasher has been slain.
One of them is down.
Fortress
Oh, I can't actually attack that one at all.
wants to go and kill a Void Thrasher, I'd be much obliged.
I can't attack that one at all.
Got an enemy attack inbound on our base, buddy.
I mean, we can irradiate them if we want to, but you gotta attack those, my friend. Yeah, I can't attack the Void Thrasher. Alright. Very good. Oh, there's a lot of Hydras here. We could try and do the bonus, I guess. We could try and nuke the bonus. We could probably kill it before it flies away.
Looks like we got several risks to deal with. Hope you're up for this.
Alright. Oh, I can't attack the bonus at all either. I assumed we would be able to kill it. Rookie mistake, Lowko. You can't just attack it. Get it, get it, get it, get it! Nice!
Most likely to repair itself. Sooner you attack it, sooner those repairs will stop. That's it. Huh. Thought that thing would put up more of a fight.
That's what I assumed as well right there.
Our allies are being attacked.
Alright, so now all we need to do is kill the last objective. I guess I can go ahead and activate some of these Hellbat upgrades too. Just because I currently don't really have enough gas income anymore to really support more of it. I dropped the... Yeah, I dropped the little Vespian drones on all of the gases. So I think we're gonna switch it to a little bit of Hellbat play as well, just because we can. Getting the upgrades on them should make it easier too. Oh, I made a siege tank. All right, ready to roll out. Oh, he's going lurker. Oh, that's nice.
The Void Thrashers are on the field. Take them out, commanders.
Enemies approaching fast. Man,
Alright.
they look mad.
It's probably our best bet. We got a lot of HP on the fortress anyway.
Research complete.
Taking some serious heat here.
It's all right, dude.
Thrashers ain't letting up.
It is 4 at once, so we gotta be a little careful.
We're safe and sound.
Ooh, look at that. That's not good for your frame rate. But looks like we got enough units anyway. Trying to pick up whatever I can. Alright. Goliath online. It's like what that's what I like hearing. We do have to move together.
Taking some serious heat here. Void Thrashers ain't letting up.
It's a bit messy. I need to move up the ramp so my ally can get into the battle too. Otherwise my units are just gonna stand there and derp about.
I've stunned the enemy. Kill them.
Although I forgot about that ability. Okay, just attack whatever you can. Trying to spread out my units here so we're, you know, helping out my ally as well as our own cause. Man, this is a mess. I guess I should have actually gotten the other upgrade here as well. Right there, the defensive matrix would have made this way easier. But I think we may have enough here to power through either way. Come on, get him. Yeah, it's very little damage we do to these guys once there's other units nearby, but we're pushing aggressively enough. Making progress.
Now that was a fight. Ha. Just gotta do it 3 more times is all.
Alright, get that one. Yeah, I should have had those, to be honest. I don't have that much army anymore. Well, I still actually got a pretty reasonable amount, all things considered.
Enemies coming for our base.
We don't care about these enemies anymore. We're going for the victory right now, Swan. Actually, without really too much trouble here, Looks like we have managed to complete this mutation mission on the brutal difficulty. If I would have had the defense matrix up, though, we could have kept units alive for such a long time. But there we have it. All of them have been destroyed, including the bonus objective.
Tell you what, next time y'all are in town, I'm buying the first round. And that's a promise. Haha.
And there we have it. 239,000 total experience right there. A whopping 2,000 from the bonus objective. Definitely not worth risking your armies for, particularly when you can't quite, you know, attack it with half of the forces, apparently. Regardless, though, we managed to do it right there pretty easily, actually. I think that most of the commanders would be viable here. I mean, with maybe the exception of Carrick's, if you know, cannon rush with him, but other than that, even if you just simply built the army that Carrick's has, right, which is most definitely a viable option, even when you do that, I think you should still be capable of completing this one just fine, as long as you've got a reasonable ally who's going to be capable of grouping up with you together, and as long as you're pushing, you know, together at once as well, life should be pretty straightforward. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. And other than that, I want to thank you very much so for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one.